Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I wanted to update you on what is going on when it comes to our planet. I have spoken about climate change before. I believe that global warming is real. I don't care what anybody says. We see the results of global warming every year. We see things happening in the weather that we didn't grow up seeing, and it's getting worse and worse. Well, David Suzuki, you see right there, David Suzuki, he says that it's too late. He says that the fight against climate change is lost. I'm not surprised hearing this at all. I remember when the scientists literally told us what is going to happen. They laid it out. If you do not work together as a global community to fight climate change, the carbon, the emissions going into the air, if you don't do anything together to fight this, then your kids are going to suffer. You think it's hot now? You really think that human beings are going to be able to survive? The power grid is going to burn out. There won't be any electricity. People are going to pass away from heat stroke and illnesses. This is not a game. I know a lot of you don't like living in 120-degree weather. Okay? Think about your children, but unfortunately, humans as a whole, I don't understand why this was never taken seriously. We have technology, new technology coming out every single year, advancing, but yet we can't tackle climate change. And David Suzuki is saying that it is too late. It's just too late. Okay, he says, let me zoom in on what he says. He said it's too late. This is not a game. We have failed to shift the narrative, and we are still caught up in the same legal, economic, and political systems. All right. This is an interview that he did for iPolitics. He says, for me, what we've got to do now is hunker down. Scientists keep telling humanity, the governments, you got to do something. It's going to be disastrous. The animals are going to pass out. We won't be able. You have to think about the animals too. Not only are they beautiful and precious, but what do you think is going to happen when the animals are dying off because it's too damn hot? What do you think is going to happen? You're not going to have any food. You're going to be fighting over resources. You're going to be starving. The ocean is going to die out. Bacteria that's been dormant in the ice is going to melt, affecting everything. So humans, I mean, seriously, I know we're just everyday people, but the government has been told about this for over a decade, and they're just going on with life. Like, this isn't real. Climate change isn't real, but yet we keep seeing how real it is every single year. Before we get more into the article, look, when I think of disasters, I told you I love disaster movies, but I'm not going to lie, it can be a little bit scary. I can't help but think of this film called The Road. All of these movies I highly recommend that you see. The Road, basically an apocalyptic event happened. They were fighting over resources. I don't know if something happened with the ozone layer or a nuke or something went off or something, but a lot of humans didn't make it. When I think about this movie, they were fighting over resources. That's exactly what would happen if global warming got out of hand. You have to be able to think of the future of what would happen, this catastrophic global warming that we are seeing happen right in front of our face. Okay, so what's another movie I think of? I also think of the film Soylent Green. I highly, highly recommend this film. Basically, the film was made in the 1950s, but it was set for like 2020, 2025, 27, okay? And basically, the planet was destroyed. Humans ruined the planet, and there's nothing to eat. It's absolutely horrible. And Soylent Green, I won't even tell you about this movie. You have to see it. You have to see this film. Maybe I'll talk about it in one of my shorts. Check out some of my shorts videos that I've been doing lately, talking about a few films that I love. Okay, so you have Soylent Green fighting over resources, the ozone layer completely ruined, no resources, okay? Also, you have the film that I love so much, Waterworld, basically the ice caps melted. They just said that the ocean current has reversed, which has never happened. And basically, they've been saying it for years. If the ice keeps melting faster than what they expected, which it is, the sea level is going to rise up. The sea level is going to rise. And in Waterworld, that's what it was. The sea rose up so high, there's no land left, okay? And the last film that I think of is The Day After Tomorrow. Basically, the current had changed, and they say that a mammoth was found still frozen with food in its mouth, and basically global climate change and how things happen literally overnight, and it was catastrophic. So those are a few films I think of when I think of what global warming and the changes to the atmosphere, the ozone layer, and so much more, what it will do to our planet, and I take it extremely serious. Okay, he says that there are 9 planetary boundaries, and we've only dealt with one of them, the ozone layer. And we think we've saved ourselves from that threat, but we passed the 7th boundary this year, and we're in the extreme danger zone, okay? He says we have 5 years to get out of the danger zone, another scientist. If we pass one boundary, oh my God, he says if we pass one boundary, we should be crapping our pants. We've passed 7. And if you look at those boundaries, like the amount of carbon in the atmosphere, we've had 28 COP meetings on climate change, and we haven't been able to cap emissions. Now it's too late. I've never said this before to the media, but it's too late. I say that because I go by science, and Johan Rockström, the Swedish scientist who heads the Postum Institute, has defined 9 planetary boundaries. Okay, hold on for a second. Hold on. These are constraints on how we live. As long as humans, like any other animal, live within those 9 constraints, we can do it forever. And that includes the amount of carbon in the atmosphere, the pH of the oceans, the amount of available fresh water, the nitrogen cycle, etc. Y'all better listen. Y'all need to listen. This is not a game again. You say we're too late to address the climate change. That's a pretty stark quote. Does that mean you're giving up on the fight? He says, I'm not giving up on the immediate years, but the focus on politics, economics, and law are all destined to fail because they are based around humans. They're designed to guide humans, but we've left out the foundation of our existence, which is nature, clean air, pure water, rich soil, food, and sunlight. That's the foundation of the way we live. And and when we construct legal, economic, and political systems, they have to be built around protecting those very things, but they're not. Yeah, you can argue about politics all day long, baby, but when the ozone layer gives out, when the sun fries up humans in the power grid, a lot of humans are not going to make it all across the entire world. Okay, he says, look, I'm not giving up on the sense of not doing anything, but Trump's election was the dagger in my heart. Trump's win was the triumphant of capitalism, okay, and neoliberalism. I'm sorry for my tongue twister. And he's going to wreak havoc. There's nothing we can do about that except maybe incremental changes. That's not what we need. We need revolution. Can you have a peaceful revolution? I don't think so. I don't know, he says. But I'm saying, as a person concerned about the environment, we have failed to shift the narrative, and we are still caught up in the same legal, economic, and political systems. They're not focused on fixing this, basically. For me, what we've got to do now is hunker down. The units of survival are going to be local communities, so I'm urging local communities to get together. Finland is offering a great example because the Finnish government has sent a letter to all their citizens warning of future emergencies, whether they're earthquakes, floods, droughts, or storms. They're going to come and they're going to be more urgent and prolonged. Governments will not be able to respond on the scale or speed that's needed for these emergencies. So Finland is telling their citizens that they're going to be at the front line or of whatever hits, and better be sure you're ready to meet it. Find out who on your block can't walk, because you're going to have to deal with that. Who's in wheelchairs? Who has fire extinguishers? Where is the available water? Do you have batteries, a generator? Start assessing the routes of escape. You're going to have an inventory of your community, and that's really what we have to start doing right now. Basically, it's time to start planning because it can't be stopped. What's going to happen? They have been telling us for decades that a lot of islands and cities are going to be underwater. We have seen the flooding happening in New York City every single year, something that never happened a few decades ago. Okay, we saw what just happened in Texas, okay, with them poor innocent children and many adults. Okay, it says that the death toll has risen to 173 people are still missing. The flash flood, the water rose up 26 feet within 45 minutes. Then in New Mexico, there was flooding again just the other day, right after Texas. They said that the water rose 20 feet within 30 minutes. Okay, so this is serious, and we see it happening. They predicted it. This is from January of 2011. So listen, baby, when the top scientists are literally telling you it is too late, the government should be listening to that. The government doesn't seem concerned at all about what's going to happen in the future. Humanity is not going to be able to sustain itself. The animals, think about the animals. It's not just us on the planet. The polar bears already are drowning. The ice is melting. What about their homes? I don't know about you, but I actually do care about the fur babies on the planet and the innocent babies, basically. Not just human babies, but the animal babies. They already said that once the bees die off, then we're pretty much done. And there has been a lot of bees disappearing. And you have all this hot weather. I don't like very hot weather. Like I said, people are going to pass out, the elderly, children, heat stroke, hypertension, the power grid, electricity burning out, seawater rising up, the flooding, countless things, new bacteria. So many things are going to go wrong. And it's crazy to me how this is not being taken seriously. And the scientists, like I said, when I was little, when I was a teenager, they started saying, look, if we don't try to do something, it's going to be too late. The cities, Florida is going to be underwater. New York City is going to be underwater. A lot of islands that you know of are going to be underwater. People are going to perish. And it's not like this is some temporary thing. This will be the new world. And I don't know about you, but it matters to me. It should matter to you. But we are just everyday people. The government it just couldn't be the United States making an effort. First of all, this has to be a global effort around the entire world. But unfortunately, governments like to fight each other, go back and forth, arguing over things that's not as important. And humanity is going to pay for this. And what are people going to say? I mean, we won't be alive probably when this officially happens, but your kids or your kids' kids, and you know what they're going to do? They're going to look back, because believe me, like that movie Soylent Green, they're going to have the articles, they're going to have the books, and they're going to look back and say, Why did our ancestors let this happen to us? You mean to tell me they had the greatest technology, but yet they couldn't come together to just try to stop the carbon emissions and to try to help the world? They let animals go extinct. It's going to be just like what you see off the movies, and people are just going to shake their head, and a lot of people are not going to make it. And it doesn't matter where you come from. A lot of people cannot take an extreme amount of heat. And the places that's already hot is going to be hotter than what it already is. There are places that in the summertime it's like 112, and that's normal for some of them. That's not normal up over here. Imagine what it's like when it becomes unbearable in many of these places across the globe. Okay? And again, electronics, the grid, things can burn out literally. Too damn hot, too many more powerful tropical storms forming, the ice melting again. So I take this serious, and I hope that you are too. I just wanted to update you about this because this is very frightening. And when the scientist is saying, look, it's just too late. So now we need to prepare. And he mentioned Finland is preparing for the catastrophe that's going to happen again. Back in the day, you would never see New York City flooding. That was unheard of. These last couple of years, what do you see? What do you see? All right, everybody. So please like, share, and subscribe. What is your opinion about climate change? Do you believe in global warming? Because there are honestly a lot of people who do not think it's real. I can't believe people cannot see what's in front of them, that global warming is completely real. Some will say, well, it's just cycles of the earth. Baby, when we were younger, and I'm not an old person at all, I'm just saying, we didn't see the type of things happening with the weather the way we see them now. Something is happening, and it cannot be denied.